Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and good afternoon for those of you who may not be Muslim. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Amir, and I am in charge of the education and training um, department of the Islamic Dawah movement. So let me take the opportunity to say welcome to all of you. Those of you who are coming in, you can sit down anywhere, make yourselves comfortable, and the registration package is on your table, right? So you can make yourself comfortable. All right, so I just want to apologize for the late start. We don't normally like to start late, but just because today is the first day and many people not really familiar with the building and where our office is, some people, we decided to give a little more time to allow people to get here and not miss too much, right? So we're going to head and start. We actually have about 60 people registered for the class, but we don't expect everybody will come, but we expect a generally full class for this particular course, right? So the course is called Islam 101. You would have seen the ad over the last month or so, and we really want to welcome all of you and thank you for coming and responding. And we really hope that over the next 8 weeks, inshallah, that we will have a very fruitful, beneficial, and positive relationship between ourselves and all of us here, inshallah. So, so what we'll talk about today, just to introduce the course today, inshallah, I'll tell you a little bit about who the IDM is, why we have this course, what we teach in the course, what the content of the course is, a little bit about the format, details about how the classes are each week, and some of the expected outcomes. And of course, if you have any questions or comments afterwards at the end, you feel free to ask those, or if you need any clarification, then you feel free to do that, right? So a few house announcements. Everybody would have gone up the very tedious flight of stairs to come up here. Um, if we have any emergencies, as the same flight of stairs we're going back now, right? Um, if you have other emergencies, the washrooms are right. As you come up the stairs to the left when you walk in the door, you have two washrooms there, right? So you could, if you need to, you could use the washrooms as well. Additionally, we have some water, tea, coffee, and some very light snacks over here to my left. So during the breaks or even during the classes, you could excuse yourself quietly and come in and help yourself as you see fit during the course of the afternoon, right? All right. So let me tell you a little bit about the Islamic Dawah movement. So we have been around for the last um, Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. For the last 40 odd years, and we have been working since the 1970s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Throughout, we do different types of work. So I want to share with you a little bit about what we do, so you'll have an understanding of who we are. So most of our work is founded upon activities like these: educational classes, seminars, workshops, lectures, conferences. And as our name suggests, Islamic Dawah movement, for those of you who may or may not know, Dawah means invitation. So most of the classes and the educational programs you have are centered around teaching people about Islam and sharing an understanding of what Islam is with our general public, with Muslims and non-Muslims. So everything we do is really geared towards that overall goal and objective. So we do many training workshops, we do dawah projects, we go out into the street, we share information about Islam, some of the items you have in your packages. We have different um, organizations that sometimes comes to us and asks us to come to their office or come to their building, ministries, etc., to do presentations on Islam, to tell people about what Islam teaches and so on. We also have public displays from time to time in malls, on the streets, where we put up posters, and we have things like what you see at the back, where we will decorate certain places like the National Library, different places. We do displays from time to time with material about Islam. We also have social welfare programs. So we have one actually next week Sunday. So we go to some of the rural communities in Trinidad and Tobago, and we do some things for the poor. We give some food. We have doctors, social workers, clothing, etc., etc. We go out and do some charity work as well. And of course, we like to have some social recreational activities as well. So we have hikes, beach cleanups, different things that young people can get involved in, as well as programs for sisters specifically that our women could get involved in and spearheaded by our sisters as well. So these are some examples of activities that we have. As I said, we have been around for a long time, even though you might probably now be hearing our name. So why do we feel a course like this is important? For several reasons. One, the first ever verse of Quran that was revealed, as we learn as we go along, was a verse which said, "Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq," to read in the name of your Lord. So the very first injunction that the Quran teaches, or came with rather, is an injunction to learn and to educate ourselves. And firstly, about a way of life that God revealed for us to follow. So it is a command. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, also said in one of his many sayings, whoever seeks a path to acquire knowledge of Islam, that is, Allah makes a path for them to Jannah. Jannah means paradise. So whoever makes an effort, whoever goes through difficulty, whoever sacrifices their Saturday afternoon in order to come to a class to learn about Islam, to learn about Allah, then they are really opening their path up to paradise, and they are opening their chances of making it to paradise. And for those of you who have cars will know that it's very difficult to get a park around here, unfortunately. Right? So there's extra sacrifice and extra blessings for you. In this verse of Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and Allah advances in guidance those who seek guidance. So if one is trying to learn and understand and try to connect with whatever message the Creator sent for us to live a fruitful life, to live a life that He intended for us, then Allah is saying He will give that person guidance if we are really in search of guidance. And a person who is coming to the class to learn or to improve themselves, some of you may be Muslim for your whole lives, but you really want to strengthen your foundation, then Allah promises in this verse of Quran that He will help to give you that guidance, to give you that understanding that you may be seeking and nobody else knows, but He knows. And so we find that within the community, we don't have many opportunities like these in the Muslim community, in many masjids, in many mosques. There are not many classes like these that are available to the community, that are available to new Muslims or people who want to become Muslim or non-Muslims who might just be interested in learning about Islam. We don't have many opportunities like these, so that's why almost every year we try to run this course to try to create that opportunity for learning and for understanding of Islam. So this is what we will go through in the course for these 8 weeks. The course used to be 12 weeks, and we felt that it was a little bit too long, so we kind of cut it down and we adjusted the content a little bit to make it more manageable, so that you don't need to feel burnout after a period in the course. So we talk about Islamic creed, or Arabic word called aqidah. So this basically means, what do Muslims believe in? Or what do we believe in? And specifically, we'll be talking about the articles of faith, meaning we'll see the Prophet ﷺ said that Islam means to believe in certain things. We'll go through each of them in different sessions and we'll explain what they mean, right? Of course, when we say we'll explain, it is still a bit cursory, because to really explain everything is very deep and requires, of course, more extensive study. But this is just an introduction to you. We have a second level of this course as well, a basic Islamic course level 2, where we go into more detail and we go into other subject areas as well. We'll also be talking about what we call fiqh, or how to understand, how to implement some of the actions that are required for a Muslim. So we will look at the pillars of Islam, but not in too much detail. And we will spend time going through the performance of the prayer. How do Muslims pray? How do you know what to say? What actions follow which actions? And if you look in your package, we have a CD there. Somebody told me people don't use CDs anymore, but that might be true. That might be true actually. But the CD is really a DVD actually of a video called "Pray as You See Me Pray." Right? So it's basically a very well put together, not by us, by somebody else, instructional video of how to pray. So it starts off giving you an introduction of how the prayer was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and then it goes through the different stages of the prayer itself. Just give me 5 minutes, right? Yeah. Then we'll do general topics. So we talk about the Quran, we talk about the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. We do general topics, and we try to spend every week. We'll have a short session at the beginning, except for this week, talking about different etiquettes, right? Because Islam came not just for us to learn principles and so on, but how to do things in a way that is acceptable, how to do things in a way that is good. So we'll be talking about different etiquettes, how to guidelines for eating, for sleeping, for using the washroom, etc., etc. We'll be doing some etiquette short sessions. We'll begin each week with an etiquette session. So you'll have an understanding of some of the implementable things that that we are recommended to do in Islam. And throughout the course, closer to the end, we will try to do some memorization as well. So, for example, when we do the etiquettes of how to use the washroom, part of that etiquette in Islam is seeing a small dua, or a short one-liner basically, asking Allah to protect us from any evil before we go into the washroom. So we'll make that available to you and ask you to memorize it, right? And afterwards, everybody come up and give it up in front of you. Nah, just kidding. You gotta give it up, right? But we'll ask you to memorize. We wouldn't force you to memorize it, but that's what we'll be doing. We're doing some memorization, so we'll hope that will help you to learn it and to remember it and to use it in your day-to-day. So these are the topics, and all of these will come in the final exam on the last day before you get exam, right? So we do give certificates to everybody. We do expect people to come for 2 classes and we'll give you a certificate, but at least we hope that people will attend at least half, and we'll be able to give you a certificate, right? So everybody will get certificates without an exam, inshallah, right? Okay. So let me just tell you how the classes each week are made up. So we try to start promptly at 2 o'clock. So I'll ask you to try to come a little bit before 2 so we can actually start on time at 2. I know it's difficult for some of you, maybe working on a Saturday, you have different difficulties, kids, lessons, etc. So we try to start promptly at 2, we try to finish promptly at 5. So each session, as you will see in your itinerary, each week has 3 main sessions, different topics. Each session is about 40 minutes or so. We have little breaks in between. And on either side of the main sessions, we have the shorter sessions, which are the etiquette sessions at the beginning. And at the end of each week, except today, we will go through that DVD. We'll be basically looking at the DVD together, right? From day 1 next week until the end of the class. So by the end of it, we will finish all the information about the prayer, about the salah, and how to go through it, all the different aspects, the things that you need to know. We'll talk about it, we'll take any questions and so on. So by the time you finish the course, you have a very good understanding of how to pray, what you need to say when you pray. Now we have other material that we'll give you to know what to say and what to learn and stuff like that. So every week we'll try to go through some of that as well. So our style in the course is very simple, very open and very interactive. So our presenters, they adopt this kind of style, right? Very simple. The presentations are not too technical and too detailed, and we try to leave the mood. We try to have the mood of the class very open, very friendly, very interactive. So you feel comfortable to ask a question or to make a comment or to say that you don't understand something, we welcome that. You can feel free to do that. Each session, every session we do via PowerPoint slides, right? So what we, 2 things we normally do with the PowerPoint slides is that we email them to you as PDF files afterwards, so you could reference them as your notes. We don't give printed handouts unless you really need. If anybody doesn't have an email, that is really weird, but we hope that everybody has an email and we'll email the slides to you every week, right? But if you absolutely don't have to, that's fine. We'll print and give you copies, right? In addition to that, what we're doing this year is that we're recording every presentation, right? So the presentations will be recorded. So while I'm presenting, PowerPoint is recording the presentation. And what we'll do afterwards, inshallah, is upload the presentation as a video onto our YouTube page, so that if you miss the class or somebody misses a class, they could just go onto the YouTube page and you'll actually be able to listen to the presentation as it was done itself, right? You wouldn't see the presenter, which is a good thing, right? Probably. But you will see the slides, moving, you'll hear the voice of the presenter while you look at the slides, right? So if you miss the class, you wouldn't miss it. You could still go online and you could see it as well, right? Every week from next week, we'll have an attendance register. So make sure you fill out your registration forms in your package and give it to us before you leave. So we'll form the registration list or the attendance register with that rather. So every week you come and you sign your name on the register list so we could keep track of the attendance each week. And as I said, we have snacks. We used to have more fancy snacks, but the economy and forex and thing. So we had to kind of cut down to more simple snacks, right? But we have snacks every week. If anybody wants, so Alhamdulillah, I should mention some very kind individuals sponsored the course, right? So some people felt we don't want people who want to learn Islam to have to pay. It does cost us to run the course, to do all of these things and the snacks and so on. So some people contributed, Alhamdulillah, so we don't have to charge you any registration. If anybody wants to contribute and donate in any way to donate snacks even, as we welcome that, and you feel free. If not, we'll still have snacks for you every week, inshallah. Okay, so let's look at some quick outcomes and then we'll start the first session. So we hope that at the end, inshallah, those of you who are here and who attend consistently will have a clear understanding of the beliefs and concepts in Islam. And you will have a basic understanding, at least, of the pillars of Islam and how to implement them. So when you leave, inshallah, we hope that you will have a clear picture of what the foundation of Islam is, what Islam teaches, what a Muslim is required to believe in, and we hope that you will be able to distinguish the principles of Islam from other belief systems after these 8 weeks, inshallah. So we'll be focusing a lot on the foundational things about who is Allah in particular and how we relate to Him in His oneness as one God, right? So that's what we're doing most of it. So we hope that you'll be able to build a good foundation through this course, and then afterwards you continue to build on that foundation, and we would have helped you along with on your own, of course, and then when our next level comes up, then we help you to build a little further up as well, but we'll talk about that more at the end. And of course, we hope that we'll help you to memorize some short du'as and some short surahs that you could actually use in your prayer and use in your day-to-day activities as you go along through your day, right? So what is required of you in order to get those outcomes are a few things. One, you have the desire to improve and to learn, and you're not just coming here to impress somebody or because your parents tell you have to come, right, or anything like that, right? You come because you want to learn, you want to improve. Of course, like anything else, in order to achieve anything, you must be committed. So we hope that everybody will, or most people will be able to maintain their attendance, maintain their consistency. Sit anywhere you're comfortable, inshallah, right? So we hope that will be something everybody will be able to maintain. We also advise you to be patient with yourselves, right? Because when you're learning, and especially if some of you are new Muslims, sometimes you could jump in the deep end, you want to learn so much at once that sometimes it could be a little overwhelming, right? So just be patient with yourselves. If you don't understand something, tell us, come to us privately afterwards, whatever you feel comfortable with. So we are here to really help you along that journey, which all of us are on throughout our lives of learning and understanding better, right? As I mentioned before, we try to cover a lot each week, so we ask everybody to try to be as punctual as possible, and we ask you to make dua for us and for all of you, so that the course will be successful and beneficial. And come smiling each week now. We don't know if you face sour by the door, we might ask you to go back downstairs, right? So we're approaching things positively, inshallah. Good. Any questions, any comments, anything anybody wants to confirm or clarify before we continue? Alright, so if not, then I'll just stop by just giving you a 1 minute break, and then we'll start the first session, which is an overview of Islam.